NBC2's Delia Jambra is live from Lehigh Acres with the meltdown that had kids caught right in the middle, Delia.
This is Peyton's charm, and it's designed to detect life inside a vehicle and notify you on your cell phone if the conditions become too hot and too dangerous.
Because there were 400 people that were inside at that dance. Students, adults, staff members.
Arrested he got.
Tennessee law enforcement looking for Luke Skywalker, real name.
In just the last minute, in the last 2 minutes, we have felt that wind completely shift, and that has made a difference in that storm surge.
Like, you noticed she had her 2 unicorns
I
with her?
was wondering what she was holding.
And they both came from her grandmother. One she's had since the very beginning, but one has like gold hair and gold hoofs, and she named it Jay Leno after getting the golden buzzer from him.
Continuing with breaking news at 4, a neighborhood is rocked as deputies swarm in to get answers about a homicide. Now NBC2 is giving you an up-close look. All right, here's some good news. More than $2 billion is up for grabs because nobody hit the Mega Millions or Powerball jackpot. New right now, exploding police body cameras. The cameras are so dangerous that thousands of cops are ditching them. Miles Miller takes us to New York City, where the devices are now being called too dangerous. The husband of a 26-year-old mom of 2 who was found dead last week in California is talking for the first time in a jailhouse interview. Charmaine Nero speaks with a suspected murderer. A pregnant U.S. postal worker in Chicago has not been seen in nearly 3 weeks. Investigators suspect possible foul play in her disappearance. The federal government may be considering redefining gender as an unchangeable condition determined solely by a person's biology. Erica Edwards shows us the new policy. New right now, a legal battle is brewing in South Florida regarding the way police detained a teenage girl. Did that officer cross the line? Nicole Ensalada hears from those involved.
G. Weaver Hips Elementary is just about a mile in that direction, and Dr. Richard Judah, who's the director of critical care here at Lehigh Regional Medical Center, said that when he heard that there were hundreds of people, because there were 400 people that were inside at that dance, students, adults, staff members, so they had no idea how many people were going to be brought here. It ended up that there were 13 patients total. 1 patient was taken, an adult, to another hospital, but 12 patients were brought here. There were 2 adults as well as 10 children. 1 adult had to be admitted. He said most of them were complaining about breathing problems, but he said he was notified that it was going to be a mass casualty event. So when that happened, these are events that they practice for. These are drills that they do on a regular basis. And so they went into that mass casualty mode. And he talked about how they had to have this makeshift triage outside where they had at least 25 staff members because they needed to make sure, before they knew what that contamination was, they had to make sure that the patients inside that were already in the hospital in that emergency room were safe. He had to make sure that his staff stayed safe, and he also had to make sure that the patients that were being brought in were safe as well. And so he talked about what they had to do in order to, before they got the all clear of what they thought was pepper spray.
We've kept all the...
So Dr. Richard Judah says once he got that all clear, there was certainly some relief that was going on that we could see behind us, because right where that emergency sign is where they were all lined up. So he said that once they discharged them, they actually gave them a little bottle of Dawn soap, dishwashing detergent, because he said once the hazmat team told him, notified him that they do believe it was pepper spray, that is the best way in order to get that pepper spray off. So every patient that left here tonight from the scene of G. Weaver Hips Elementary was given a little bottle of Dawn dishwasher detergent in order to help decontaminate.
This is Peyton's charm, and it's designed to detect life inside a vehicle and notify you on your cell phone if the conditions become too hot and too dangerous. It's a device the McKinnon family wished they'd had 9 years ago.
They're a family full of laughter and love, but a family with a missing piece.
She had the best smile. When she would laugh, it was contagious. It would light up the whole room.
Had those bright blue eyes like her oldest sister. She was just a perfect 17-month-old child at the time.
March 8th, 2010.
That was the moment that changed our lives forever.
Reggie McKinnon had left work to take his youngest daughter, Peyton, to a doctor's appointment. He was supposed to drop her off at daycare afterwards.
And on the way back from her appointment. Like most young children do, they fall asleep, and she did. A few hours later, the day had ended, and I proceeded to go out to the parking lot.
Reggie went to place his laptop in the vehicle.
That's when I found Peyton still in her car seat.
Reggie and his wife Julia were left not only mourning their baby girl, but also trying to explain to her 3- and 4-year-old sisters that she wasn't coming back.
We had explained that there was an accident and that Peyton had gone to heaven with God.
All these years later, the hurt hasn't eased.
I knew of the special bond that he shared with Peyton. Peyton was the daddy's girl.
Something that I still struggle with today, over 9 years later. How could you leave your child in the car?
But Reggie and Julia made a promise they would honor Peyton's legacy and help spread awareness about the dangers of hyperthermia.
The day I lost Peyton, it was only an average temperature of 73 degrees. So it doesn't take a lot.
So when an inventor asked to use Peyton's name on a product that could save other children, they didn't think twice.
We needed to come up with a solution that monitored the entire inside of a vehicle. And that meant the air. The air was everywhere inside the vehicle. If we could monitor the air and still detect life, then we would really have something.
Peyton's charm monitors carbon dioxide levels.
It has the ability to not only detect life and life-threatening conditions, but then alert someone who is motivated to solve that problem.
And with a GPS located in the device, first responders are also able to get to the scene sooner. All things Reggie and Julia know could have made a difference 9 years ago. And they're hoping that their daughter's legacy, with the help of Peyton's charm, will help keep other families from going through the pain and the heartbreak they did.
Keeping her alive in our memories and our everyday lives.
If you don't think it can happen to you, you don't want to keep that mindset.
The creator of Peyton's Charm says they're hoping to have it available sometime by the end of the summer, and we've put a link on our news app. In Cape Coral, Lisa Spooner, NBC2.
Tabitha Hayes.
Dr. William Truax, or Dr. Bill, as he's called,
it's good to see you.
Is known for making people smile.
Come on back.
Yes, he's a dentist, but he does more for people than just work on their teeth.
I don't know what I would do if there wasn't a place like this for me to come.
23 years ago, after seeing a need in our community,
I believe these people ought to be treated like regular people, not like second-class citizens.
he started up Project Dentist Care,
Way back,
which provides dental care for the indigent.
in order to be seen here at the clinic, you have to make less than 200% of federal poverty level.
And the number of people needing this kind of help has only grown. Last year alone, nearly 1,600 patients walked through these doors on McGregor and Fort Myers and were given $665,000 worth of treatment for free.
Yeah, that's where it stems from.
Patients like Tabitha Hayes.
I came down with I had some medical problems.
Those medical problems forced Tabitha out of work and required heavy doses of medication, which left her with 9 cavities.
They gave me a list that, detailed how much each filling would cost, and it was more money than I make in a year now. I'd look in the mirror and think, man, I'm going to lose all these teeth one day, and I'm not going to have my smile.
Tabitha didn't know how she would afford the treatment she needed until she heard about Project Dentist Care.
I felt like a whole other person again.
Dr. Bill is one of 42 dentists who volunteer their time and expertise to the nonprofit.
Fillings, extractions, oral surgery.
And with an additional $46,000 in grant money this year, dentures have now been added to the list of services.
For 23 years, we've been pulling their teeth and leaving them toothless because we didn't have anything else. So these people have got teeth in their mouth. They can smile, they can talk, they can eat that we couldn't offer them before.
But the physical transformations barely scratch the surface. Dr. Bill says it's also about restoring a person's self-confidence.
Before, they covered their mouth like this.
It's like they're a whole new person. They're proud.
We've changed a lot of people's lives.
You do have to qualify if you would like to receive treatment. If you want to find out if you meet the requirements, we put all the information for you on our NBC2 News app. In Fort Myers, Lisa Spooner, NBC2.